Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I am Ben with KCT, the real one here, and today doing a nice quick video for you guys on, well, let's just back this up. This is the first video in my bought to hate series. Have you ever bought something and you hated it right off the bat? Or have you bought something you thought you were gonna love, but then you hated it? Or maybe you just hate the company and you bought it just to fuck with it and, I probably shouldn't say it, just to mess with it and have it not meet your expectations? Well, that's what this series is all about. So the first thing I want to do is talk about this Troy CQB grip. I'll try there. So what was my problem with this? Well, guys, first of all, I hate Troy. I think it's stupid. I think the rails are stupid. I think the word battle in every fucking product is stupid. I'm sorry, like battle lice, battle spring coil, battle buffer retainer, battle, I don't, Jesus Christ, dude. Enough. So I don't think the rails are anything special. I think they're very expensive for what they are. The squid grips look absolutely ridiculous. I can't even understand. And they're like, oh, well, the U.S. Army is going to use these. No, not. No, they're not. Oh, but we have a cage code, and I think, who cares? Really, stop. So I bought this. And it's about $30, which is pretty much the tops for what I'll spend on a plastic grip. And it is the, regular Picatinny. We will talk about how that's a problem in a second. But I bought it and I wanted to see if it sucked as bad as all the other Troy stuff I've used, or if there's actually a redeeming quality to this product. There is and there isn't. So, first of all, let me dive into this. When I got this thing home, I put it on a rail. Independent of a gun, I just put a rail. And it stopped immediately. Like, we're not even talking about having this little groove piece in there. Just this top piece. Okay? That's all I used. And it stuck immediately. Like, it would not go on any rail. So it would not go on any rail that I have, period. So whether it's a Magpul, like an M-Lock, rail, whether it's another company's, Strike Industries rails, whether it's just a third-party generic rail, it would not go on any of them. And it had to be removed with a hammer. So what I ended up doing, of course, is taking a lot of sandpaper. And you can kind of see there. But yeah, I had to remove a fuck ton of material inside there. That was kind of hard to see. But yeah, this whole thing had to be like, wiped out there. And I ended up using skateboard tape eventually to get in there and remove enough material at once. And then for the rest of the day, I basically just put a rail through the bottom of it, pounded it down with a hammer, flipped it over, put the rail through the other side, pounded it down till it actually slid freely on a rail. Guys, this is fucking insane. And again, if it was just one rail, I would be like, you know what, it's just not spec to fit that rail for whatever reason. But it was every single rail that I had. And again, that's whether it's a rail system or just a rail section, nothing. Like, it had to be all removed with a hammer. And sometimes I had to use another piece of rail to hammer it down in here to remove the first piece of rail and then hammer the other one out. So, guys, it's 2022 and Troy cannot spec a grip to a fucking Picatinny rail. Yeah, let that sink in for a second. Battle this, that, and the third. I mean, like, when I say that it was not going on there, it is not going on there. It's not just like a little bit. It took like hours to actually get this thing sanded down enough that I could count on it to slide onto a rail and slide off of a rail, but not stick and, have to be removed with a fucking hammer again. So, that's my start. Pretty auspicious. The rest of this thing is kind of weird looking because you have this, like, chip thing of some variety that you stick on here, like it's some sort of demented grenade. And you put it in here, screw it in. When you do, that little chip rises up and becomes your rail stop. Okay? So, interesting way of doing things. Not necessarily how I would have done it, but go Troy. I do like the fact that it is tool-less. Besides the hammer, you need to get it onto a rail. When you take it on, take it off, you don't need an Allen wrench or anything like you do with a lot of other grips. So that's nice. You can kind of see like the outside is all fuzzed up too. Let's try there. So I thought that was okay. Now, when they market this battle grip, it's the CQB grip. they say, oh, well, you know, you can do this and this with it. Okay, cool. And they say, oh, it configures easily to mission parameters from doo-doo to something else, whatever. Okay. I guess, like, when you mean, like, taking it off and putting it on, there's no mention of it, like how it's convertible. Now, Troy does have a series of grips that are like the metal version of these that are like in sections that are made to come apart and to be used in different configurations. Nothing is ever said about this being used any other configuration than how it's intended right here. I looked at some stuff online and like, oh, you can't do it because this chip has to be in there. And you have to have this thing with a little knuckle, I don't know. I don't think that's true, but let's take a look anyways. So first of all, we'll unscrew this, the battle chip. This thing is, and then unscrew the base. Now, you can go ahead and put Skittles and vibrator battery, whatever, you know, put some stuff in there. And it is supposedly watertight because it does not like open at the other end. And there is a rubber gasket and some beefy threads here. So, say, oh, you can't put this thing, you can't use the short grip like this because you don't have this piece set right on that chip. Well, all you really do is put the chip in there like so. Hold it, hold, and look at that. It pops right up exactly where it's supposed to be, and it won't back down like Tom Petty. There's a little bit of wobble in there, but once you get it on a rail, you know, it stays. I mean, realistically, you just drop it in from the top too, but you know, this kind of steals my thunder, to be honest. So once you have that on a rail, it doesn't matter because it's not going to come off the top. So, all right, let's go ahead and, oh God, this thing. Okay, so just, I'll show you guys, you know, so I can show you that it does actually work now. So with the stubby, can slide it on there and lock it down. And surprisingly, it's actually not going to go anywhere. Okay, nice for a little doubling grip there. And of course, remove that. See, that's the problem you run into, is that little chip. That's one thing I fucking hate about, well, there's many things I hate about this grip, but now you have to like jimmy jiggle it to get off there. There we go. So it's not a super huge problem, but you know, there is that you have to, you know, work the chip out to put it back in. And you can do this. And it's snug down in your battle nonsense, battle rail section, some shit here. Alright, and there you go. And surprisingly, it doesn't want to fall off or slide. You can really torque this down and get it so that it doesn't move at all. This stuff. Doing too much testing. So guys, does it work? Yeah, if you are willing to work on it. If you, I don't know, want a rail that I guess does, or a grip that does what it's supposed to from the beginning for a rail, maybe not, because you know it's only 2022, and you know Troy's been out for 8 billion years and they still can't spec a rail. I don't know, guys. I mean, like, I'm happy with it now that I've gotten it to work, but the amount of time it took to make it a finished product for $30 fucking is pretty outrageous. Guys, am I bitching too much? Am I expecting too much of a product to work right out of the box? Go ahead and put that in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to quit complaining about this stuff and have a rest of my night be somewhat good. And yeah, guys, comment. Let me know what you think. Love you guys. Stay classy.